Today, a single Truth Social post made insiders very rich and decimated retail. The mainstream media is telling retail investors that the Iran war is finally de-escalating. They point to Donald Trump's announcement of a 5-day pause on military strikes on Iranian power plants because of, quote, productive talks. But is it actually de-escalating? Look, I'm not going to tease you with the answers. I'm going to give you a bullet point summary. You can decide if you want to stick around and listen to what I have to say. First, we're going to look at how retail investors got trapped buying oil at the top, because they did. Then we're going to look at how Iran categorically denies that these talks ever happen. And finally, we're going to look at the blatant market manipulation designed to use you as exit liquidity, allegedly. My name's Nick. I've been a professional investor and unprofessional trader for 24 years. Before I start, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is not an inducement to buy or sell any assets. And most importantly, do not take financial advice from some random dude on YouTube. I'm going to slow down now. Okay, so let's figure this out together. The media is saying that the worst of the energy shock is over, right? They want you to believe that the 5-day postponement of strikes means that the Strait of Hormuz will reopen and everything is fine. We're all good. When Trump issued that 48-hour ultimatum to obliterate Iranian power plants, yesterday, retail investors panicked. Inexperienced traders saw crude oil spiking to like $110 a barrel, and they piled in with massive leverage. They assumed that the war was escalating, so they bought oil at the top and panic sold stocks, panic sold silver, panic sold everything else. And Wall Street loves it when retail uses leverage because it sets up the perfect trap for them. So let's talk about why this violent whipsaw happened and what the smart money is actually doing. The reality is the Strait of Hormuz is still effectively closed, with commercial vessel traffic down like 95%. That choke point normally carries 20 million barrels of oil every day, representing 20% of the global supply. The International Energy Agency calls this the largest supply disruption in the history of the global oil market. It's worse than the two oil shocks of the 1970s combined. Because of this, US prices for oil are up like $1 a gallon in just a month. Then Trump posts that his envoys have had very good and productive conversations with Iran. The moment that post hits the internet, the algorithmic trading machines take over. And let me translate what that means for you. Systematic algorithms do not care about geopolitical realities. They just read headlines and instantly execute trades. So crude oil plunged from $100 a barrel to like $90 a barrel in no time. The 14% drop instantly liquidated anyone holding leveraged long positions. At that exact same time, the Dow Jones futures surged roughly 1,100 points, SPX is up, NDX is up, Bitcoin spiked from like 67 to 71K, silver, which had crashed down from $81 down to below $65, has suddenly reversed and recovered. Not all the way back up to $80, mind you, but it's recovering, right? Precious metals had lost like nearly $2 trillion in market cap because of the oil spike and the terrified bond market. And now they are starting to recover. Rate cut bets plummeted from 95% down to less than 15% in just 4 weeks. So this was a textbook liquidity flush, but here's the catch that the media conveniently forgets to mention, because of course they do. The Iranian foreign, to be fair, the media is actually reporting this. So look, I'm always hard on the media, but they are reporting this. The Iranian foreign ministry categorically denied that any negotiations took place. They called it a strategic retreat and a play to soothe global markets. On the exact same day that Trump announced this pause, Israel launched a new wave of strikes directly into Tehran. So it sounds like this is complete nonsense, right? The cynical observer would say that this communication strategy is designed to fuel market swings. This is not the first time that this pattern has played out, mind you. On March 20th, Trump posted that they were winding down military efforts, causing the markets to move. Of course they did. Then 24 hours later, the Pentagon confirmed deploying thousands of additional Marines. The pattern is always exactly the same. A post goes live, markets move violently, then a contradiction emerges, markets whipsaw back, and retail loses everything. Meanwhile, energy stocks are up like 31% this year. And guess who is perfectly positioned to profit from these sudden political announcements? Allegedly, Donald Trump Jr., allegedly, is currently an advisor to two of the leading prediction markets. The Trump family is even launching their own prediction market called Truth Predict. Lawmakers are flagging highly suspicious trades made by insiders just moments before these announcements come out. They are shorting oil before the crash and buying stocks right before they pump. They funnel the paper risk to retail investors while extracting billions in rapid arbitrage profits. It's a wealth extraction machine, allegedly. I need to keep saying allegedly. The reality is that this conflict in Iran is costing the Pentagon $11 billion per week, and the underlying supply deficit has not been resolved. The physical market is screaming that the crisis is getting worse, while the paper market uses tweets to trap you. So what does this mean for us? Look, this is why you can't rely on paper markets, and especially not when you're trading them with leverage. Markets have always been manipulated, but right now the manipulation is off the charts. My plan personally hasn't changed. I hold physical assets, hold companies that survive recessions like utilities, energy and other staples, and most important, I protect myself and I'm ready for a financial crisis because I believe we are finally seeing one emerging. Because big players are trying to extract as much money as possible from the markets right now, and that's what big players do before a massive recession. That's what they did in 2008, and that's what it feels like they're doing right now because they know something is coming. Anyway, watch my video on the silver market manipulation and why I'm still holding silver. I did it on my main channel. I dropped it just a few hours ago. Go check that one out, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.